Hi, my name's Simon Baker. I'm the Executive Chairman of the Online Marketplaces Group. This podcast looks at the rise of e-platforms. What is an e-platform? E-platform is the digitization of as much of the end-to-end sales process for either primary developments, that's new developments, secondary sales, or the rentals process. Around the world, companies such as Spotter Home are driving the digitization of the process and thus reducing costs and ensuring that consumers can transact faster. Today, I'm talking with Ronnie Sang, the CEO of AoCubo in Brazil, which is an e-platform servicing the Brazilian market. I started off by asking Ronnie, what does AoCubo do?
Simple way to define it, it's a digital real estate brokerage that is focused on new developments. We have brought the Uberization business model to the real estate industry here in Brazil, specifically in São Paulo. So, we have partnered up with the major developers here in São Paulo, and we have their blessing, to sell their new developments. Right now, we have close to 100% of the inventory available within the platform. So after getting all the inventory, we start generating leads. So we generate leads, through SEM, the top portals like Grupo Zap and Imóvel Web from Navent. But we also get involved, with Facebooks and Google of the road, and we also have our own platform. So once we started getting this a large inflow of leads, we then pre-qualify these leads using our own technology, which is an automated technology through WhatsApp. As time went by, we really saw that people, especially here in Brazil, are much more willing to respond during the day and have an interaction on the qualification process through WhatsApp. We did that a lot manually, but now we're getting to a more automated process. So once the leads actually, had an interaction with us and the lead's ready to talk to an agent, we then send that leads information and the history of the conversation to a bunch of agents that are specialized on the specific part of the city where the lead is actually looking to buy. And it's a very similar routine that Uber does. Once you decide you want to ride, they send your information to a bunch of drivers. So once one of the agents that received that lead's information accept that lead, he or she earns the right to work with exclusivity, the lead, and work out until the deal is done. And of course, after the lead is given to an agent, we do get involved, on the follow-up and the negotiating and the closing process to make sure that the agent actually follows through and do a good job and get the transaction done. And of course, if the agent, for whatever reason, is not doing a great job and the lead's not so happy, we're super happy. I mean, we're more than happy to get a new agent within the process and make sure that we're closing that deal.
Now, are these agents your employees?
No, they are independent agents. They're contractors, so we don't have any actually in-house, any fixed costs with the agents right now.
And how do you interact with these agents?
100% through WhatsApp. 100% on WhatsApp. It's a huge platform here in Brazil. All the interactions with the agents and the leads are through WhatsApp.
Okay. And is there an app that helps guide the agent through a series of steps to close out the transaction?
Yes, we have. We deliver the lead within our app, which called iBroker or Instant Broker. And within the app, there's videos on assisting the agent throughout the whole process. So we call it the AoCubo University. So we're constantly inputting content there on sales techniques, negotiation techniques, and so on and so forth, to make sure that we're making the agent a better agent, a better professional, and making sure that he or she is closing as many deals as possible.
Now, one of the things that Uber is, in theory, good at doing is identifying a good driver from a bad driver based on the consumer ratings. How do you, make sure that you're sending your leads to those salespeople that close it out?
Well, right now, after 48 hours that we connect a lead with an agent, we get in touch again with the lead, and we run a quality check at NPS, making sure that the agent is actually getting in touch and doing what he or she is supposed to do. So as we don't have a star system in place yet, but we're getting that in place, and that's what we do. So we make sure that the agent is really following through, doing what he or she is supposed to do. If not, then we're getting him or she out of the picture. But as more transactions are being done with our agents, they do get points within our platform, and the more points they have, the more leads the automation algorithm is gonna give it to them. So that's already being done.
Okay, so I understand that process. Now, how do you get paid?
At the end of the day, the agents, they are selling through AoCubo. We are signing the contract of the transaction. We are receiving 100% of the commission, and then we split the commission on whatever ratio we have agreed with that agent on a specific product, and then we pay it out the agents. So we receive 100%, and then we split and give the commission to an agent.
Now, when I talk to various players around the world who are undertaking similar models, what they identify as a core capability or a core requirement is to really understand the end-to-end process and then use technology as much as possible in managing the sale of the property. Do you subscribe to that same view?
Yes, I do. I think in Brazil and many other countries, the process is super fragmented. It really relies on it's a really an offline process, and there's a lot of inefficiency there. As we progress and evolve and bring more technology, we can see the results of getting higher conversion rates, not only on getting more leads qualified with a faster response by using bots, but also getting closing more transactions at the end of the day as well by implementing all this technology. Using the Uber model of creating competitions within the agents. They gotta make sure that they gotta get that lead, and get in touch with that lead right away. Otherwise, they're gonna lose the lead. So as we bring more technology, for sure, the whole process, the whole industry gains, and with more efficiency, it's better for everybody.
Now, you said you're currently focused in Sao Paulo. Are you able to disclose sort of how many transactions you've done to date?
Yeah, sure. We've done a little over 600 transactions up to date. Last year, we closed between, I think it was 350 transactions. So we're still at early stage. But as we can see, we've got some transactions. The business model does work, and we're bringing additional liquidity to the developers, and with no additional fixed costs. So they're super thrilled about that. So yeah, we look forward to continue to grow the business.
Now, as you grow this business, what are the one or two key challenges that you face? Things that have surprised you in the process?
Well, it has. Came to a great surprise for us. The fact that even by giving a pre-qualified, free of charge lead to an agent, the agents can be very lazy at times, and so that's why we decided not to make the app open to all the agents. We have we do a screening process and make sure that the agent can deliver the kind of service we expect them to deliver to all the leads. So that came to a surprise at early stage, and also a few developers, they're not. Of course, we had some resistance at early stage from developers of having us selling their new developments. They weren't sure if this kind of Uberization business model would work, and that came to a surprise as well. But as time went by, and with the liquidity and the transactions that we've been getting, our name is getting on the market. Developers and agents are respecting a little bit more of what we're doing, and the disruption that we're bringing to the market.
Now, in many markets around the world, you're able to get 3, 4, 5% from developers as a commission. What's the percentage rates in Brazil, or in Sao Paulo at least?
Well, yeah. The average, based on our 600 plus transactions, it's 4.5%. But it really varies depending on developers and products. You can get up to 6.5%, and it can get as low as 2%, depending on the development.
Okay. Now, when you think about the business, are is your plan to expand outside of Sao Paulo?
Yes, for sure. I mean, actually, we had to postpone that plan a little bit due to the coronavirus crisis, but we have started to move to Curitiba, which is another major capital here in Brazil, and we're studying what are the other capitals that we're going to start moving forward to. So yes, we want to become a nationwide business.
This whole coronavirus crisis has changed how consumers interact with both portals and agents in the market. How has it impacted your business? And how do you think this is going to play out long term in the Brazilian market?
All right. So, I mean, the whole coronavirus crisis, it has brought a negative impact to our business in terms of transactions being done over the past couple of months. But the way we see it, it's bringing, there's a silver lining. So developers, until before the coronavirus, they wouldn't allow signing the contract of the transaction digitally. So now you can do that. Just very few developers had made available, the 3D touring Matterport camera kind of visiting, and now everybody got up to date and are making that kind of stuff available, and they're sending to us, and they can distribute that to all the agents and make sure that the agents are using that with the lead. So I mean, actually, the way I see it, long term, it's going to be very beneficial. It's going to be much more digital. Agents are much more the digital process, which makes our life a lot easier. So I think short term, it's not really good for the business, but moving forward, I think it's going to be very good for the industry in general.
Okay. Now, what are the 2 or 3 key areas that you're focusing on to grow the business?
Well, right now we're really focused on making the bot that make the qualification process smarter, and make sure that it can really qualify as many leads as possible without any human interaction, because currently right now it can go only so far, and we have people that can pick up after the bot can reply these leads anymore. So that's the number one challenge. And secondly, the other main challenge that we're facing right now, we want to make sure that we're investing more and more on more liquid development. So right now, like I said, we have pretty much the blessing for the developers to sell 100% of the units in Sao Paulo. But as we're generating more transactions, we're starting to become a little smarter in terms of where to invest and where to generate leads and where to hire more. I mean, where to collect and bring more agents from specific areas of the city. So that's basically the 2 areas that we're super focused on right now.
Okay. The other question that goes through my mind is, when you work with a developer and you're marketing those properties, to what extent are you reliant on their advertising material versus to what extent do you create advertising material for them?
We create, I would say, 80% of the advertising material. I mean, we use a little bit of what they send, but as time went by, we learned a few tricks here and there to make sure that we can optimize our marketing campaign. So we don't rely so much on their material. And matter of fact, for a couple of developers, we started to do on-site sales on the showroom, and for those guys, we are getting paid to develop the whole marketing material and generate leads for them and whatnot. So that's that was a product that wasn't on our roadmap for right now, but it came up. It was a great opportunity, and the more we think, the more it makes more sense for us to really engage with that product.
Okay, the last question I've got is around scalability. How many agents do you have with your app?
The app is closed, so you have to send the invitation. We have a little over 100 agents that are actively receiving leads and selling, making transactions. But we have over 10,000 agents that have signed up on the platform. to use the platform and also to be on a queue to be invited to that.
Okay, so how does an agent go from being, one of the 10,000 into one of the hundreds?
Well, they have to make a transaction through AoCubo. So, AoCubo through, this little over 2 years, we have developed a great relationship with the developers. We have brought liquidity, and we have been able to negotiate pretty aggressive commissions in terms of, compared to the market. So what our business model actually makes available for the agents is, they sign up for the platform. They can use our platform to look for updated prices, inventory, and so on, which was fragmented information that before AoCubo nobody condensed in one place. And they can search through the platform. They can generate their own leads and sell through AoCubo, and making the highest commission in the market. So just to give a quick example, if I'm an agent and I have my uncle that wants to buy a development, I can sign up for AoCubo, which is free. I can search for all the properties. I found one. I go to the showroom. I identify myself as an AoCubo agent, and if the transaction is being done, myself running as the agent, I'm gonna get the highest commission in the market. So for an agent to get into the iBroker, they gotta sell one property through this process. Then he's gonna get screened, and we gotta have an interaction with this guy. And if he's a decent guy, he's gonna be able to join the iBroker and start receiving free leads.
Okay, so to understand this correctly, there are 10,000 agents who have access to the platform, and they bring
Correct.
leads with them, and they close
Correct.
out using a platform. And then for the leads that you generate through your own marketing efforts, they are directed to the 100 plus agents who have been certified by you at the end of the day, right? They have the app installed, and they've been invited to receive these leads.
That's correct.
And so part of the growth is all around converting some of the 10,000 to that certified, qualified group of agents who work with you.
Correct.
Okay. And my assumption is that I bet they are very enthusiastic to receive the leads, because that makes life even easier for them.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of these agents, they do struggle. They have a tough time, not only making an upfront investment to generate leads, but also to spend that time on Facebooks and other platforms to actually generate leads and then qualify the leads. At the end of the day, we're giving a much more mature lead to these agents through our app.
Ronnie, I love the business. I think this whole primary market e-platform business model is one that is going to I think revolutionize how primary developments are sold, and will really allow us to move much closer to being a full marketplace for the sale of properties. Everything from